Hi, I'm Chef Andy, and today I'm going to show you how to make a roasted rainbow carrot salad with balsamic glaze and a pesto, but instead of using pine nuts, we're using roasted pumpkin seeds. So just a reminder, before you use any of your vegetables, make sure to wash them first. When I took these carrots out of the refrigerator, they were a little rubbery, so a trick to kind of liven them up again is to let them soak in some cold water, and then they give themselves a little life. The same you would for celery, but it also works for carrots. First, we want to take off the stem, but I wouldn't say all the way. Maybe leave like 1.5 inches or 2, just like that. They just look nice on finishing platter. And actually, if you want, you can also save the stems and maybe possibly use them for like a vegetable stock. So just put them all in a pot, cook it for 2 hours, 3 hours. The longer it goes, the more flavorful it will get. These carrots kind of vary in size. So I'm gonna go ahead, maybe cut some of these more than others. So this one here I'll probably cut into quarters, just like so. Like that. Just so that they're a little more bite-sized when they're ready to eat. You don't want to bite into a big piece like this, so better to cut them off. Also, just look at that color, and once they're all like kind of scattered on the platter, it's just gonna look beautiful, all colorful. So this one I'll probably just do one. Just like that. There we go. Okay. This one I'll do one too. Kind of skinnier. Alright, and then drizzle some olive oil on here, just like that. Some salt. And this is going into the oven. Preheated oven, 350 degrees for, I'm gonna say maybe 20 or 25 minutes, depending on the size. So you're always gonna kind of peek in and see if they're ready to go or not. Next, we're gonna do the pesto. So normally pesto is made with basil, pine nuts, and garlic, but I had run out of pine nuts, so I came up with a roasted pepita substitute. And once I finished, like, man, this is just as good. So kind of like a little spin off there. So let's start by picking all these. We want a bunch. And as soon as you get your basil, it's helpful to put in like a little cup of water in the refrigerator. You can also keep it out somewhere near some sunlight so it can stay alive, stay vibrant. I think this is enough right here. Okay, after we picked our basil with our mortar, we're gonna start with the garlic. Crush it to get that peel off, like so. I like to chop it up a little bit first, just so there's less pounding. Here we go. Get that in there. And we wanna pound it to a paste. And I know one garlic clove doesn't seem like a lot, but because it's going to be raw, it's actually going to have lots of flavor, so it's going to be really pungent if you add more than one. Add a pinch of salt. The salt will kind of help it sweat so that it becomes more paste-like. Start mashing. So because I cut it into pieces and added that salt, it turns into paste pretty quickly. So the liquid is already released in there. Pretty much a paste, so we're ready for the basil, which we also chop. Chop that up. We're gonna do this in parts as well. Under the cutting board, because there's a lot of smashing, I stabilize this with the wet towel so that your cutting board isn't moving around too much, just for safety. And if you don't have a mortar and pestle, you can totally use a food processor. Okay, next batch. It's looking good. Okay, last bit of it. You don't want to waste, so the end of your knife, kind of just grab the last piece, just like that. Alright, it's looking good. Ready? Now we want to add about 2 tablespoons of roasted pepitas, just like the garlic and the basil. Do it in batches. So I would say that's maybe like half a tablespoon. So we'll start there. So we just want to smash it just so it kind of crushes into everything, incorporates it all together. This one goes a little faster. So that's ready. We'll do another batch. There we go. So I would say that's maybe like a tablespoon and a half. So ready to go. And then final. There we go. And now olive oil. Let's say roughly about a 1/4 cup. And if you have a measuring spoon, feel free to use it. Like I've been doing this for so long, I think I can kind of eyeball it a little better. But don't be afraid to use measuring spoons. I'm gonna say that looks good. All right. Set this aside. Always taste. I like a pinch more salt. It's good. Nice, bright green, fresh, pungent from the garlic, roasty too from the pepitas. Set that aside. Okay, next we do the balsamic reduction. You start off with a whole bottle and you kind of end up with very little. So the more the better. I'm gonna go ahead and use the whole bottle. And then we'll see at the end and I'll show you how much it actually is. Medium high for now just to get it going. We wanna get it to simmer, and as soon as it starts going with a rubber spatula or a wooden spoon, let's try not to use a metal one, because if you use a metal one, the heat will transfer and you'll actually burn your hand. Our carrots are ready. Nice roasted carrots, vibrant color. Put these over here while we wait for our balsamic glaze to start. So it's starting to simmer here. This is when we start, we want to keep an eye on it. Also be careful not to hover over it too much because it is vinegar, so this steam is like really burns your nostrils. So just be careful, kind of stand back as you mix. So we're about 10 minutes in, and at this point you don't want to step away from this, because right here is when it starts producing a lot quicker. So now you can see that it's starting to picking up a little more. Slowly stirring. Get the sides. See, it's starting to thicken up a little bit. Again, just like the pesto, you can totally make this at a time. You can store in your fridge. Remember that this is vinegar, so it'll last longer than usual in your fridge. I'd say about a month. But just be sure to keep your eye on it every time you want to use it. Give it a little taste, see if it's still good. See, it's kind of sticking to the spatula now. Before it was kind of just dripping off. Now it's starting to stick more. Then we'll pour it into our ramekin. This is good. Nice. Cool. Now we're ready to plate. Carrots. I like to sort them maybe in the, kind of purple ones that are starting here. Looks good. One even layer is best. I think we could squeeze this one in. Yeah, right there. It's good. Pesto. Kind of dollop it all around like that. Oh yeah. Like it instantly brightens up the plate. Perfect. And now the balsamic. Give it a little stir. There we go. Drizzle. Like so. Yes. Sprinkle of salt. Ready. So the carrots still have a hold. Didn't roast them all the way through yet, just so that it still has some texture. Sweet from the balsamic glaze, and all just blends really well together. Perfect side dish or main vegetable dish.